there, I'm Big Alias. What's up, everyone? Every time I do one of these videos, I plug the mic in for the first time, and I have to do a mic test, and I always make a your mum joke. But at this point, I think they've just divulged into me like aimlessly throwing your mum into like the conversation, and by throwing your mum, I think that'll be quite difficult. Your mum is already throwing herself around. What am I talking about, dude? I am 30 soon. I'm gonna be 30 years old soon, and that's what am I doing? I'm staring at a waveform and talking about your mum. Let's talk about something else. I was I noticed they released the poster for the new show, The Acolyte, which is a Star Wars show. I think this poster is badass. It's a really awesome poster. It's a lightsaber hilt, and the obviously lightsaber coming out of it, the light beam coming out of it, is actually a trail of blood leading down to the hilt. I think that's absolutely fantastic. It kind of smacks of episode 7 when Finn, gets the smear of blood across his face, and there are people saying that this is good, just completely doesn't track. This isn't right. This isn't Star Wars. This isn't the mood. This isn't the vibe I get from Star Wars, and this is completely wrong and inaccurate. Like I said, we've seen a smear of blood before. We've seen it in, quite frankly, one of the most universal, family-friendly Star Wars films ever made. It's just a light, fluffy movie, and even then we get some blood face on Boyega. So shit happens. It just happens. But I also hate it when people do this. I hate it when I hear stuff like this, like, oh no, this is off-brand. No, I don't like this. This is not what I'm used to. No, not a fan of this. And I hate it because we spend so much time on the internet, giving our opinion on the media products and what we think they should do and what we think they did do right or they did do wrong or whatever, in this situation. We spend so much of our time doing that, and so frequently, so often, the conversation is that they're not trying something new, they're not doing something different, and that we're just tired of all of the same stories over and over again. Oh my god, they're gonna do this again. Ugh. But then the moment anyone deviates, all fucking hell breaks loose. And unfortunately, as much as I hate to say it, and I hate to put it in such a blunt, bleak way, if you're at the head of a popular franchise like Star Wars or Marvel or whatever, if you find yourself in a situation where people are saying that you need to try something different, you need to dip your toes into something new, there is now nothing you can do. There is nothing you can do to change the formula in any way, because you're stuck. You are now completely stuck, because if you make something new, people are going to complain about this thing being new, or being different and something that they're not used to. And if you make something that is just completely in the same realms of what you have been making, then people are going to complain about that too. This is just what happens, and that's the point where it's cut off. You're done. You are never going to please everyone ever again. And in the case of something like Marvel's, you're going to find yourself in a position where you can't really Marvel. You can't really claw those people back. It doesn't really matter what you do. At the moment, they're in the phase of okay, you want generic movies, then we'll make generic movies with light beams and colors and stuff like that. We're not going to make the throwback black and white 50s sitcom style show. No, we're going to just have light beams and fights and stuff like. Oh, you don't like that either? What do you like? And of course, one of the biggest offenders of this was Star Wars. The Last Jedi came out, and I know that sometimes I hate the fact that people actually started watching these videos. I know I could potentially get a lot of hate for this, but I love The Last Jedi, and I love the fact that they actually decided to try something different that taps into the heart of Star Wars in a way that does try something a bit different, and characters do things differently, and you don't just get the big explosions, and lights, beams of light hitting other beams of light and going No, that they actually tried some sort of different storytelling and forcing their characters to look inward rather than just big space battles. And people hated it. Everyone absolutely hated it. So of course the reaction is that Abrams undoes all of that and makes the most lukewarm, tepid, just generic surface level Star Wars film, other than maybe Attack of the Clones or something along those lines, but just the most like safe, secure Star Wars film ever made. And it's nothing. It's a nothing burger of a movie. I mean, like sometimes I do go back to Rise of Skywalker, just because it's a Star Wars movie, but it's just such a nothing burger of a movie. It doesn't mean a single thing, and that's because they did it. They tried something different, and people were like, no, we want our space battles back. We want our backwards talking aliens. We need all of that. We can't have this. And unfortunately, I think Acolyte is kind of doomed to that fate now, where it's like, no, you're making something darker. Don't do it. We want something different. Don't do something different, no. And of course, it's ironic that I saw this today as well. I was looking at some people talking about Poor Things, which is just a tremendous film. It's an absolutely excellent film. It wasn't for Oppenheimer. It might be, in consideration for my favourite film. And then again, we did get Across the Spider-Verse and John Wick 4. Man, it was a good year for movies. But yeah, Poor Things, absolutely fantastic. And the reason I loved it so much is because I came away from the movie thinking, I have never seen a film like this. Okay, yeah, I've seen elements, and the film is very inspired by Expressionism, which I'm a huge fan of, but, inspirations aside, it's just such a unique film. I've never seen a story like this, and I've never seen a film that made me think the things I'm thinking watching this. And people hated that shit. Oh my god, they hated that. And I saw a lot of comments talking about how weird. Of course, it's on Facebook, the home of the stupid. But yeah, like, oh, it's too weird. Oh no, it doesn't make any sense. Or no, I don't like it because I don't get what's going on, and all of this. And it's just what happens. You either have to make something generic, or and be told that you need to be trying new things, or you try new things and you're told to stop doing that. Please stop doing that. I'm excited for the Acolyte. I want to see what it's all about. I don't really know too much about it, and I hope they lean into it. I hope they get brutal with it, but regardless of what they do, people are just going to complain, and they always will. But this is a bit of an unfortunate rock and a hard place for them. Anyway, I'll see everyone later.
The PlayStation's only $149, and you can also get leading titles.